we're recording. So I'll call the meeting to order at 5:30. Michelle, you have something you want to add to the agenda, right? Hi, Kate.
So sorry.
It's okay. I just realized I don't think I told you it was the library. Sorry about it.
Sorry, do you want me in here now, or should I?
Yeah, you can, if you don't mind, we'll get through the meeting pretty quick. It's not till the end, but.
Yeah, no, that's great.
Megan, have you got an extra copy of the agenda?
I got it.
Oh, you have it? Can I borrow it?
Oh,
Oh, I can bring one too, John.
Well, you just passed.
Yes, I want to add June calendar revision, please.
So let's do that at the end of business. H.
Really? Megan, hold on to that.
So I'd accept the motion to approve the agenda with that change.
So
So Bethany, second. John?
Yeah.
John, any discussion? All those in favor? Unanimous. Then I accept a motion to approve the consent agenda, which includes our minutes from March 1st, 2023, the minutes of the Community Relations Committee from March 14th, and the minutes of the Community Relations Committee from March 29th.
So moved.
John? Second. Thank you, Amy. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Bye.
Okay, public comment? Okay, any public comment?
Thank you for meeting me. You are the club.
Okay, recognition of those who contribute. So we're honoring the bus drivers and All-Star Transportation in general this month, and they're not here because Lisa is going to go to their meeting this month, and I think with a little gift and thank them on behalf of the whole region. So I think at all the regional meetings this month, we're just acknowledging all the hard work they've done. I was at the Region 1 meeting, and Lisa was going on and on about how hard Michelle Christian works to juggle the schedule. They're really low on bus drivers, and it's been a real challenge the last couple of years, and they've done an amazing job. And so just to name our bus drivers, we have Tony Sturzel, Heather Giroux, and Melissa McDougal, and our sub is Fran Goodhouse. So thank you to all of them and Michelle Christian. That brings us to the written communication. I didn't receive any written communication. Anybody else? So, and the Region 1 report, that's me this month. Jen was away. So it was a pretty short meeting at the Region 1. They did the same thing, the recognition of the All-Star Transportation. They approved the job description like we were going to do, hopefully. They hired a library media specialist, Jessica Boe, and they set their graduation date for June 16th, and the rest was just policies. So not really much going on there.
June 16th.
June 16th. June 16th, is that where we're at?
No, we're on the 19th. Monday. Yeah, Monday.
Right.
I know.
Not fun.
Party day.
Okay, so we need to do our annual healthy food certificate motion. There's two motions we need to make. I have it printed out. Anybody like volunteer to make the first one?
Sure. Am I just reading?
Yeah, you can just read you can do them both if you want. We'll just do them one at a time.
Motion for participation in healthy food option of HFC. Pursuant to CGS section 10-215F, the Kent Center School Board of Education certifies that all food items offered for sale to students in the schools under its jurisdiction and not exempted from the Connecticut nutrition standards published by the Connecticut State Department of Education will comply with the Connecticut nutrition standards during the period of July 1st, 2023 through June 30th, 2024. This certification should include all food offered for sale to students separately from reimbursable meals at all times and from all sources, including but not limited to school stores, vending machines, school cafeterias, culinary programs, and any fundraising activities on school premises sponsored by the school or non-school organizations and groups.
So second? So the motion she just made, these are the motions we have to make annually in order to receive, okay. So Bethany's got the motion, Naomi's got the second. Is there any discussion on that one? All those in favor? Unanimous.
Okay, motion for combined food and beverage exemptions for Board of Ed's choosing healthy food option of HFC. The Kent Center School Board of Education will allow the sale to students of food items that do not meet the Connecticut nutrition standards and beverages not listed in section 10-221Q of the Connecticut General Statutes, provided that the following conditions are met. 1, the sale is in connection with an event occurring after the end of the regular school day or on the weekend. 2, the sale is at the location of the event. And 3, the food and beverage items are not sold from a vending machine or school store. An event is an occurrence that involves more than just a regularly scheduled practice, meeting, or extracurricular activity. For example, soccer games, school plays, and interscholastic debates are events, but soccer practices, play rehearsals, and debate team meetings are not. The regular school day is the period from midnight before to 30 minutes after the end of the official school day. Location means where the event is being held and must be the same place as the food and beverage sales.
Thank you. Bethany. Is there a second? Naomi, thank you. Any discussion about that one? All those in favor? That's unanimous. Okay, approval of policies. So we only have the 4 this month. I'm assuming everybody read them. Is everybody comfortable with passing them at this meeting? Okay. So then I'd accept a motion to approve policy 1316, 3516.12, 4151.7, and 4141.5/4251.5.
So moved.
Thank you, John.
Second.
Thank you, Bethany. Any discussion on those? All those in favor?
Aye.
The teacher job description. So this was, I think, just came about. They were, for some reason, somebody had asked to see the teacher job description, and they realized at the central office that they didn't really know exactly where it was right away, and then when they found it, it was pretty old, so they felt it was in need of updating. I don't think anything significant has changed. It's just bringing it up to date. It references the Connecticut Code of Professional Responsibility. Pretty encompassing, I guess. So unless anybody has any concerns about this, the whole region's just going through, it's just updating. So I'd accept the motion to approve the new teacher position description. Okay, thank you, Bethany. You want a second, Naomi?
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay. So the next thing is another 3 motions to read. This we've talked about before, but this is just the roof replacement that we want to do not this summer, but the summer of '24. There is not enough money in the capital plan to do it, and because the budget is getting bigger and bigger, and the capital plan is getting bigger and bigger, we decided on the facilities committee to close out our capital plan line that covers the sidewalks here and the parking lot in order to move that into the roof line. And then we also have a little bit of money left over from our window project that we'd like to move into the roof line as well. We need about $1.2 million in order to go out to bid. It has to be appropriated by the town before we're allowed to start the process. That allows us to get state reimbursement when we're all done, if we do it properly. So with all this money, it'll bring us to, with moving this money from those other 2 lines, it'll bring us to 1.219. little bit of cushion there. Anything we don't use just goes back to the general fund. So we've already talked about it, we've already made a motion to do this, but the motions needed to be a little bit more precise, so Barbara wrote up some motions for us.
Want me to read them?
You wanna read them?
I'll read them.
Yeah.
So the first one is just going to, it's gonna close the windows line
Yeah.
and move it into the roof project. The second one will close the sidewalk and paving line, move it into the roof project. And then the third motion, because the sidewalk line isn't fully matured, it's gonna ask the town, well, we're asking the Board of Finance to ask the town at the May meeting to make that money available to us early.
Right.
And then as it gets taxed for in the capital plan, it just goes right back into the general fund, so.
Okay.
Just to coordinate with the Board of Finance.
Motion number 1, at Board of Ed meeting. The Board of Education requests that the Board of Finance terminate the completed KCS Windows project in the capital fund and transfer the residual funding totaling $12,453.46 to the KCS roof project in the capital fund, and recommend the same for approval to the electors and citizens at the May 2023 town meeting. So just reading that one.
No, let's do one at a time.
Okay.
So Bethany's got the motion. Thank you, Naomi. Any discussion on that? And just, well, that's the, we'll talk about that for the roof, or the
Okay.
sidewalks. So, Bethany's got the motion, Naomi's got the second, no discussion. All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, that's unanimous. And then the second one.
Oh, okay. Upon the recommendation, motion number 2 at Board of Ed meeting. Upon the recommendation of the Kent Center School Building Committee, the Board of Education requests that the Board of Finance terminate the sidewalk / paving project in the 5-year capital plan consisting of $136,235 in fiscal year '24, $136,235 in fiscal year '25, and $136,235 in fiscal year '26, and transfer those appropriations to the KCS roof project in the 5-year capital plan, and recommend the same for approval to the electors and citizens at the May 2023 town meeting.
Second. Second? Okay. So Bethany's got the motion, Naomi's got the second. And then just before we vote on this, we do need to repair the sidewalks and the parking lot. And it's a little bit, it makes me a little bit nervous to do it this way, but we're trying to be cooperative with the town and not, otherwise we'd have to go to the town and ask for $400,000 out of the general fund.
Right.
So I'm hoping that we can come in under the 1.2. I think it was Sam that was saying, or was it maybe you were telling me that the construction projects this year are looking better than they were anticipated financially.
Cost-wise.
Yeah, cost-wise. So this 1.2 is just an estimate right now, and I'm hoping we can come in a little bit under that. And if we have money left over after this, I think if we keep on top of it as a board, we can go back to the Board of Finance and ask any remaining money possibly put back into a line or an account for the sidewalks and the paving.
Scott, just a quick question.
Something needs to get
On
done.
the roofing there, would it be able to, for the solar panels still or not?
No, so the solar, I forgot to put that on the agenda, we should have forgot, but that got canceled, that project got canceled. The Green Bank got back to us and said, because, the way that project works, they don't really do any engineering or detail work until they get, all the approval from the town. It's gotta go through any board that it needs to go through, the selectmen had to sign off on it, and then they start really looking at it in detail. And when they came out here, one of the roofs, the one above the gym that they were planning on putting panels on, will not hold the weight, so they couldn't put any there. And because of the delay, we were supposed to be doing this solar panel 2 years ago, was it? Now we're running up against the roof replacement, so we can't put any there. Well, I guess we were telling them we couldn't put any there in the beginning, but they didn't really pick up on that. So when they went back and they recalculated, it's just not financially feasible for the Green Bank to do anymore. So they canceled the project, but I think, I heard at the Board of Finance meeting that I think, like Jean and,
Nancy.
no, not Nancy, blanking on her name, but the Conservation Committee, I think they're gonna go back at it and look for other,
Yes.
not Connie Manis, but can't remember.
That's right.
So, I mean, this was like really a town project. We were the ones that had to do the approval because it was gonna be on our roof, but it was really a town-wide type of project. So they're gonna explore other options. And the Green Bank has offered, to explore more options with us, and we can keep looking at it and thinking about it, but it's not gonna happen the project that we've been working on.
Because we, at the sewer commission, we're gonna have a new roof on there.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, and then we're gonna put solar panels on top of it.
Oh, that's great.
So maybe this other guy might be interested as well.
Yeah. So,
No,
Yeah.
it's another company.
okay, so we have the motion, Bethany, the second from Naomi. I just wanted to add that we're still gonna try to collect some money as we go. We have to keep our eye on trying to get some money back for the sidewalks and
Yes, so a question about that, with the sidewalks. You said we'd get, like, once we pay and we take care of them, we have stuff to get the money back, right?
we don't have, there's no automatic, they're not automatically gonna give us the money back. We have to keep our attention on it.
Okay.
So if we can come in under the 1.2 and there's money left in that line in the capital plan after the project is over, who's ever on the board at that time needs to remember that we should go back to the Board of Finance and see if we can move that back to sidewalks and paving. And we're also expecting to get about $300,000 back from the state after the project is completed.
Yes, that's what I was.
So somewhere in there, I hope that the town would agree to give us some money back to do it, because they do need to repair the sidewalks. Are getting a little. But we're trying to be cooperative, and I think that this is the best plan for right now.
Roofs need,
Yeah,
roofs are important.
the roof's more important, and the budget is really big this year, and
You
so,
can step over problems. You can't not have a roof.
right. Okay, so we have the motion, the second, the discussion. All those in favor? Okay, that's unanimous. And then the third one.
Motion number 3. The Board of Education requests that the Board of Finance approve and recommend approval to the electors and citizens at the May 2023 town meeting bridge funding totaling $724,705 be taken from the capital reserve and deposited to the KCS roof project in the capital fund. Upon approval of this bridge funding, the capital appropriations already in place on the 5-year capital plan for fiscal year 2024, fiscal year 2025, and fiscal year 2026 for the KCS roof project totaling $724,705 will be encumbered and used to replenish the capital reserve.
That's all.
So,
Okay, so Bethany's got the motion, John's got the second. Any discussion about that? All those in favor?
right.
Okay, that's unanimous.
Excuse me, Scott, do you have that in an email?
Yeah, I'll send it to you, I'll email it to you.
Great, perfect.
I was gonna say, I could give this to you, but I can email it to you.
If you can email it to me, I can.
Try to remember that,
Thank
but don't please.
I have it highlighted, so if you forget, I'll.
No candy for you.
Very possible. Okay. So the next discussion is about tuition increase, possibly. I don't know how many of you followed the Board of Finance meetings, but at our presentation of the budget, as usual, we got a lot of pushback on our tuition. And it's very frustrating because it's almost like, I'm just gonna say it, it's almost like willful ignorance, because we've explained it over and over again. I've shared that document with you, I've shared it with the Board of Finance. We've estimated, me, Michelle, Lisa, and Sam Herrick, our business manager, that to add a student into the mix once the school is up and running costs no more than $520, and we are charging $4,500 per student, per tuition student. So we're making nearly $4,000 for every full paying tuition student.
Plus it's an incentive for the teachers as well.
And well, the teachers are allowed to bring their children for free, yeah. But for some reason, that's not getting through. So one of the suggestions at the Board of Finance was, do we ever look at increasing the tuition rate? And I promised that I would put it on the agenda for discussion at our meeting. So I I think on the one hand, it's completely performative if we do, and unnecessary because we're already well above what it's costing us. On the other hand, for some reason, there's a group of people that are having a really hard time understanding this, and we'll keep trying to explain it, but it might, ease their concerns a little bit if we increase like 3% with tuition. I don't know how the rest of you feel about it. It's kind of it's a hard one because in my heart, I don't really agree with raising it. On the other hand, if we're trying to be practical and get along with people, and find some common ground, it might be worth considering if it, eased some people's concerns. A 3% increase would put us at like 46.35 instead of. So
I would say absolutely not.
it's like $135 increase. You'd be absolutely no.
Absolutely not. We're already the highest.
We're the highest in the
We're the
region, except for the high school. Their ag program is like 6,800. I think.
Yeah.
But
We're already high and we're already making money on it.
Yeah.
And for now, it's something that we've discussed, and I think we've gone through every single possibility that we could have gone through.
Yeah.
And we feel comfortable with it right here, so raising it just to appease other people that's not going through all the financials that we did, absolutely not.
what about John and Bethany?
I agree with Naomi. I mean,
Yeah.
we're making $4,000 on student, and people are coming. I mean, so it's not like ours is.
And we have some
people are
families
coming.
with even two. We have some families with even two, and to raise it, and we're the highest. It's I honestly I think to even ask family to pay more right now with this,
Right.
it's obnoxious. Like I would go to a private school if it's
Okay.
it's like we already like one parent have to pay 46, and then it's not like the second kid comes free.
Yep.
They still have to pay for the second kid. So
Okay.
absolutely not. We already went through this, and it's our decision, and I don't think that the Board of Finance or anybody should be dictating what we do. Likewise, we don't dictate what they do, and when we make a decision that we're comfortable in, I say absolutely not.
And then it's the incentive for the teachers as well, so.
So do you agree with that, John?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. I think that's great. I think it's good to discuss and think about it, and maybe we can revisit it next year, and we'll just keep our eye on it. So.
I don't understand like, I mean, if it were a different of $100, I would sort of understand that confusion. It's $4,000. I'm like,
They
I don't
keep
understand.
what
Just set in stone what they're setting in stone with, and I really think, honestly, to be frank, I think it's rude, I think it's obnoxious. I think for them to tell us how we should decide on what we should do, we don't go tell them how to do their jobs.
Yeah.
So they should not be telling us how to do their jobs. I think it's very disrespectful that they keep going at it because they want us to do what they want us to do. They cannot dictate what we do as our board.
No, they certainly can't dictate. It's our decision.
So to do it just to appease them, absolutely not. If we think that it's warranted, that we should do it, of course, in all support. But if we've gone through this over and over with a fine-tooth comb, and we came back to the numbers again,
Yep.
so it's absolutely not. We don't have any rhyme or reason to raise it. We're just raising it just to appease. That makes absolutely no sense.
Okay. All right. That's good then. All right, so let's move on from that one. Unless anybody else wants to say anything else about that.
Do we have to make a motion on that, or?
No, there's no action. We just, if we're not changing it, there's no action needed, so. All right. And then the next one, I gave you the heads up a little bit by email that I wanted to put this on the agenda, but I didn't really develop it very much. We all know we tried for the SRO and failed. And then I think the consensus on the board was that we were gonna wait and see what happened with Andy Osef's request to the selectmen for a second trooper. That failed. And then Gene Speck, our first selectman, had, I thought, a great suggestion to try and add, I forget the number of hours, I think it was like 2,000 overtime hours into the selectmen's budget for a state trooper so that we could at least have somebody in town Monday through Friday for sure. Because Andrew's schedule right now is 5 days on, 3 days off, so there's some days during the week he's not even in town. And we have, no coverage, very long response time. So I thought that was a great halfway, compromise suggestion, but that didn't go anywhere either. So we're back to ground zero, or just square one.
And it's still in the budget though for her.
They added a little bit of overtime hours, but it's like 400, and from what I,
Only for holidays.
yeah,
Only for holidays, that was it?
from what I understand, it was like they were just kind of budgeting for what they're already using, like just let's put it in the budget fund. So it's not really gonna increase the presence here in town.
That's sad, I mean, just see what happened in Tennessee and all the other.
So let me be clear, we're not getting any form of security in school?
Well, not yet. As of now, no. So it's up to us now. I think the ball's back in our court, and I think we should keep, looking into this. And I think a good first step, when we can talk more about this, in following months. But I spoke with the board chair of Sherman. They have an armed security guard there. It was a great conversation, and I learned a lot. They're extremely happy. I mean, it's a little frustrating. All the towns around us have already had it. They're increasing the numbers of the ones they have. He couldn't believe that we don't. He said we would never even consider not having one here. It's just, not something that we would ever consider doing. And Lisa is going to try to set up a presentation for us with the superintendent from Pomperaug,
Good.
Region
Good,
15. They also have armed security guards, not SROs. We tried for the SRO, that failed.
So they're SRO.
So it's retired police officer, just a handgun. So I'd like to hear that presentation next month, if we can set that up as a board before we really go much further with the discussion. But I think a good first step would be if I was able to go to the ABC meeting this month and just bring the topic up to them and see if there was anybody willing to collaborate regionally on something like that.
Yeah,
In any way, not just armed security, but just security in general.
Yeah, after what just happened with them, shooting through the door, we need to figure something out and figure something
Yeah.
out like yesterday.
And it was a little frustrating at the SRO meeting. I think a lot of, or at least a couple people weren't taking the argument very seriously. And one person said, we must be worried about somebody drilling down through the roof. And that really set me off because, I mean, we're talking exactly about what happened in Nashville. And
Yeah,
to
that just sent me home.
gloss over that and not address it, I thought was really not fair. But setting that aside, I think if we could, I'm not sure what the appetite in the rest of the region is going to be, but I think we should explore it first. So
Yeah, something,
no,
we
I
need,
think
we need something desperately, like,
So-
as soon, like, if we can, announce, whatever it is, to figure that out for September, because Nashville is no joke.
I agree.
Before I would think, like running into this shooting down the door, and I came in the other day and I'm looking at like, wait, this is nothing. Before that, I was thinking, oh, we're fine, we have double doors, you always get buzzed in, but I never thought about somebody shooting through the door.
Yeah.
And that is very scary.
I
It's
think
like,
that's what we've been
and
working on.
the front office is just sitting ducks.
Yes.
So,
So that Tennessee governor is gonna try and get funding. And we should watch that closely as it's progressing, so.
I also, I was just taken by the whole, like, they said that it was a private school, so there was no security guard, and I thought, well, they got there in 13 minutes, right, or something
I think
like
it was
that,
like
13
6.
minutes, nobody's gonna get here in 13 minutes.
Yeah.
Without an armed security, nobody's gonna get here in 13 minutes,
I
you
think
know?
that's
Like,
it.
it's-
We don't have reliable response time here, and I think that's the biggest issue,
Right.
So,
whether or not, I think the idea that, with us even trying to tell them that we don't have, whether or not we have, because some people say, well, we have the true brain tongue, whether or not we have, it's not for debate. The debate right now and the question right now is we need somebody at the school,
Yeah.
and that's it.
I agree. So, I think that, we want to do this deliberately, and I think, I'm open to suggestions if you guys want to do something different, but I think a good first step would be setting up this meeting for next month with the superintendent of Pomperaug for us to listen to and ask questions of. And then let me go to the ABC meeting and talk with them about it, and I can come back next month. I can tell you what we talked about at the ABC meeting. We can listen to the superintendent from Pomperaug. I can discuss a little more what I talked about with the board chair at Sherman. We can try to get in touch with Maria Horn and our state senator.
Steve Harvey.
Yep. next month and see where we're at and what we can do next month.
Do you want to set up a
Okay.
subcommittee for that?
I don't think yet.
Okay,
Why don't we
after
just,
this conversation?
yeah, let's see how it goes at the region and what that, what develops out of that, if that's okay. Okay. So if you're all in agreement, then I'd accept the motion to allow me to propose to the ABC committee exploring cooperating on security measures with our schools. So Bethany moved, second, Naomi. Any more discussion on that? Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
And then finally, I don't think I've talked with you guys about this yet, but I think it would be a nice idea to do a staff appreciation event this year. I think it's been done in the past, but we haven't done it in the past couple of years. So I've been in touch with Alyssa Potts at the Pipe and Drum, and we have scheduled a date for May 11th, which is a Thursday at 4 p.m. And it will be kind of like an open bar with appetizers kind of thing.
Nice.
So, and it'd be us and the staff, teachers and staff. So
Would the kids be out from school, because how would the staff get to attend?
4 p.m. Yeah, the kids will be out.
Some of the most teachers will do it.
I think,
Forwarding the teachers.
yeah, I discussed this with Michelle.
Oh, yeah.
So the 4 p.m. comes from Michelle.
Because I'm like, are we
But we
going to
could
be
do
dragging you
4:30.
guys? Okay.
No, I
It's
think,
not a problem to change it later if you want, but
I think four will be fine. I think most people are out by four.
or they could
What day?
be on
What day?
May 11th.
I just want to make sure everybody's in attendance.
Yeah.
You know,
May-
we're not doing it at an inconvenient time.
No, and
Because then you're gonna, if you do it later, you're gonna lose the people
Yeah, 'cause
who
people
have
who wanna
to
go.
travel
Yeah.
far
Okay,
and need to
Okay,
leave.
yes, I
why.
just want to make sure, because
Yeah.
I'm like, wait, who's going to
I
watch
have
the
my
kids?
For mothers.
because originally I said like maybe 6, but
Yes,
Michelle suggested like 4 or
Okay.
4:30.
Okay, yes, I'm good.
Should we get the PTO involved as well in this or not?
We could, well, what I was gonna bring up is, it's mostly done, the date is set. I have a rough idea of the price, I think it will be under $2,000. Alyssa sent me a menu to choose from, that we could choose 7 or 8 dishes off of, and I was wondering if any of you would be willing to volunteer
Yes.
to just, will you,
Yes,
to just finish this up?
yes.
So what we need to do,
It might cost you more, but sure.
I'll let you know, I'll send you the emails I have tomorrow, and I can,
Because how
Tell
many
you.
teachers?
it's about 60, right, Michelle? 60
Staff, yeah, 60
And we
staff.
only have $2,000? What are we gonna have, egg?
No. I've already got the price, this is a quote from Alyssa, so it's a rough quote, it depends on, it's an open bar, and so that sort of thing, but.
Yeah.
But it's, I think, we're getting everything we asked for, so.
Soda and eggs.
No, I'll show you the
Yeah,
The menu.
we've done it before there.
yeah,
It was pretty, yeah, everybody enjoyed it.
They're
And
not
they're
getting
not.
salmon or lobster. I mean,
No, but
Well,
still.
they
And have
could,
you
there's
seen the
like,
price of it?
I'll show you.
Yeah.
And
I'll
they're
show
not
you the
there
menu
like,
to choose from. So what I would need
$8.99
is like, you'd have to finish choosing like 7 or 8 dishes for the thing. No, we gotta keep to we'll talk. We can't, 'cause this is town
You guys are
money,
gonna
it's public
get
money, it's in the budget.
Yeah, but
We
if
can't
we-
just go.
But still, $2,000 is like.
Don't worry about it.
60
Don't worry about it.
eggs and water.
But then,
Sparkling water? No.
Naomi, you'd also have to get formal invitations out and collect the RSVPs and report back to Alyssa how many people we're gonna have.
Oh,
Is that?
okay. Yes, I'll work with you.
Well,
Oh, you want me to take on the whole thing?
I'm actually looking for 1 or 2 of you to just take it over, so I
Yes,
don't have
yes,
to deal with it.
yes.
If that's okay,
Yes.
I'll catch you up to date
You'll
where we're
send
at.
me all what it is you need.
Yep, and we can talk
so I
about
can
it.
follow up with everything.
Yep.
Yes.
I'll catch you up to where we're at.
And you can do a Google form,
Yeah,
you can do a
just
Google form, whatever's easier for you. They already have a save the date, so everybody knows about it.
And Naomi, I'm happy to help you get the invitations to all the staff and all of
Okay.
that.
we just need the count of of who's coming, and then report back to Alyssa by like May 1st of the final number.
Okay.
She said actually we could let her know up to May 10th if there was small changes, but she'd like the first
Okay.
RSVP by May 1st.
That's fine. 3 weeks? 3 weeks?
Yeah, about. And then, but maybe we could get back to her, we can talk, but we can get back to her sooner with the menu choices.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Alright, cool.
So Megan, you said you'll work with me on it?
I'll work with you on gathering, sending the information and gathering the
Remember-
RSVPs.
Okay.
We're appreciating Megan and Michelle, so that's why
But I just wanna make sure you're not having an egg.
no, I'll show you the
on
menu.
the-
I'm
Trust me.
staying out of that
I'll work
part
with
of
you
it.
as well. I will work with you as well.
I'm
Yeah,
not
you
the
work with me,
smartest
Becky?
person, Naomi,
I'll work
but
with you,
I'll-
yeah.
we got that covered. It's pretty good, the menu choices are pretty good. There's like crab cakes, or, I mean, there's a whole bunch of things.
Yeah,
I
last
think
time it was great too.
it'll be good.
I tried to stay on course.
So it's 4:30 to 7?
Yeah, she didn't really give it, Alyssa said she's assuming it'd be about 2 hours, but I don't know that we have a hard stop, so. And then in choosing the room, I think she's gonna, look at the numbers, either the north or the south room, that sort of thing, just finalizing all that stuff with Alyssa. But we'll be in touch about it. So is there any other questions
Y'all
about that?
and
or-
an egg.
No? Alright, so that brings us to H, the June, calendar.
What's the date again, Scott?
It's May 11th at 4 p.m.
I think you guys probably remember at all of our calendars, when we approve the calendar, we talk about how each school will come to their board if they need, depending on snow days, et cetera, et cetera. So, we did this last year, so, bringing it back this year to revise the calendar, so that Thursday, June 15th and Friday, June 16th are half days, 1 o'clock dismissal days. We will use them as professional development for teachers. And then Monday the 19th is our last day. It's always a 1 o'clock dismissal.
Oh, it's one, okay.
So our motion just has to talk about Thursday and Friday?
The motion just has to talk about Thursday and Friday. June 15th and June 16th.
And one same thing last year. We have to end on a Monday, is no way we can keep it on
Yeah.
a Friday?
When we got
State
that
law.
last, or it was a Wednesday or something, I was
Yeah,
like,
it was, it really
I know.
like, cause
Yeah.
Maybe you can have some more snow days.
Yeah, we can
Really
extend it further into that week.
oh, wait, I don't want more snow.
can we cut something and get the Friday? No?
No, I know. And actually, the teachers go Tuesday as well.
Right.
Because we have our full professional development day on Tuesday. The 20th.
We can't give up something else.
State mandated.
It's so funny.
And we actually don't have any other like regional, we don't have any other days off that we would be able to get back anyways.
She's trying to get more than an egg, she's trying to get like cut days, she's.
No, it's like,
I know, well, and you may have half the kids on Monday, we still have
Yeah.
to do
it is
that.
half of the year.
Well, we've already heard from some families who won't be there for the last week, so. Expected.
Well, cause that's the week before camp starts, so, people might take vacation.
Okay, so would somebody like to make that motion?
Yes.
Second.
Well, we gotta voice it, so it's like, I'd accept the motion to, change Thursday, June 15th and Friday, June 16th to half days.
So,
Thank you, Naomi.
Second.
Thank you, Bethany. Any discussion? All those in favor?
You have to do the 19th at 1 p.m.
Well, so the 19th is already set.
Already a
It
one,
doesn't-
okay.
yeah, last day of school is always a.
All those in favor?
Alright.
Unanimous. Almost at Kate.
how are
Okay,
Great.
that's the principal's report then.
I just have my calendar.
Okay, so April highlights, this is a little bit of March and April, but we ended the intramural basketball season in April, which this year for the first year included 4th graders, which was a great idea. They had a really great time. And of course our 8th grade basketball players were the coaches, and everybody had a great time. I don't know if you guys saw it on Facebook, but we did take all team pictures, and this was the first year that we had some tears at the end.
Aw.
Losing teams, so. But it's always a great program. We'll continue running that as long as we can. 4th grade arts day this year was held across the river at Kent School. A again, a really great experience. We're usually at Hotchkiss. We have booked Ken School again for next year.
Great, yeah.
Transportation was a big issue, but again, Michelle Christian was great, and we ended up getting some coach buses using the KCS bus for another school, so everybody pitched in, but it was a really great day again, and a lot of alumni parents of KCS were over at school, helped out, so that was a lot of fun. The Northern Regional Music Performance was in the month of March, and we had participants from 7th and 8th grade with Mr. Poirier for that. And then we did our internet safety presentations for grades 4 through 8. That was done by a state trooper, and we plan to hold one for parents, hopefully, in the month of May. And he would do an in-person one here at the school, and he would also put it on Zoom for those who can attend in person.
For all parents or just for?
All parents. Yep. And next, we talked a little bit about maybe even going to some of the lower grades next year, maybe down to 3rd grade, because we are seeing it earlier and earlier. Yeah, with kids being on the internet and a lot of unsafe situations that they're exposed to. So that was really good, and he was a recommendation from Trooper Fisher. I did put in a bunch of pictures from student-led conferences. I don't know how many of you attended, but it was very well attended this year. This was our first year doing the digital portfolios in grades 4 through 8. So I did send out a feedback survey to those parents who attended in the 4 through 8 just to see, how it went. And most of the feedback was positive, some negative feedback, but the negative feedback was more around student-led conferences in general, and our population has felt this way since we started it. Parents really want to have that parent-teacher conference in the spring as well as in the fall. So, yeah, it's a conversation that I can have with Lisa and Janine, as that was a regional initiative that we started. So,
And the purpose for switching to student-led was just to start helping the students be able to articulate for themselves a little better.
yeah, I mean, it was all part of our transition to student ownership of learning, because they don't get a lot of chances to present their learning to anybody outside of the classroom, right? Their teacher. So, and not all kids have the same support at home that everybody else does. So, not all kids are coming home to their parents asking them, "What did you learn today? Let me see your test. Let me see this." So, granted, not everybody attends student-led conferences, but even for those students who are building it and not sharing it with anybody, they're still taking ownership of their own learning throughout the year. So even if we did transition to something different in the spring, I don't think we would get rid of the digital portfolio. It helped us build in the portrait of a graduate and those dispositions, which I think have been really helpful for the kids. And being the first year, even the 4th graders, some of their portfolios were really awesome. So, yeah. And that portfolio will start in 4th grade. I know some of you probably saw older students. Some of you have some older students, so you might have seen the 7th grade one, but now those 4th graders will carry that same portfolio all the way up through 8th grade. So they'll be able to see and reflect on their growth as well. So it won't just be different from year to year, it'll stay. Yeah. So it'll be interesting to see how they get when they've been through 2 or 3 years. We do have a couple of budget summaries and details from Rita in there. Anyone that wants to look at them? And then the leadership team, again, we're going to wait until after budget approval to go through and meet and talk about the calendar for next year, or our schedule for next year and our professional learning for next year. We've not done that yet. Some exciting events in April. Tomorrow we're hosting the South Kent basketball team. They'll be here from 1 to 3. So Gonzo reached out to me because the South Kent basketball team felt like they had a lot of appreciation from Kent Center School students this year. There were a lot of families that attended their games, and since they won the championship, they just felt very honored that everybody was there and supporting them, so they wanted to do something for KCS. So we're having an event from 1 to 3, and every half hour we'll switch in the grade levels. The younger kids, they're going to put on a little show for them, maybe some dunking, some dribbling. Well, Gonzo's gonna be the MC, so you know it's gonna go anyway. We don't know. But autographs, I guess, are a big deal with the little kids. So we do have their team picture printed, right? And so they're going to be opportunity for autographs, opportunity for pictures, and then with the older kids, we're hoping we can get a little interactive knockout game going for whoever wants to play and just have some fun with them.
That sounds fun.
That's cool.
Good end
It's
to
school here, right? Or it's okay.
It's here, but the South Kent kids are coming here.
Oh, I don't know why I was going on to South Kent.
I just reset the
you
save
know
the
what?
date, so.
Ours is going to, Whitmore? No. I think Whitmore.
Yes.
They're going to Sharon Audubon.
Second grade is going to Sharon Audubon in the morning.
Third grade.
Third grade is going to Sharon Audubon in the morning. Yes. Kindergarten time is Sharon Audubon in the afternoon. So we have a lot to match to.
Kids like, oh.
They said it was only, but I didn't believe that. So.
And then obviously you guys know we're going on spring break. And then our middle school musical is on April 27th. If you guys are available, please come and support. Heather Callahan-Guarnieri from Kent School has done a fabulous job. It's always hard to be an outsider and put on a production. You're not here every day with the kids. So they are doing Shrek Junior.
What time?
April 27th. There are two.
It was like 1:50 or something.
Let me just check because there's two performances and I don't want to give you them.
I talked to this.
1:15 and 7. Yep. And then April 28th at 2 o'clock is our annual Arbor Day celebration. Location TBD. And
And just,
we're going to celebrate Earth Week that whole week. So I'll talk about that in a minute.
Naomi already knows this, and Michelle knows this because I've talked to Michelle, but our Community Relations Committee thought that it would be a good idea to try and promote the middle school play to the rest of the community. So we're working on trying to get some flyers made and maybe spread around town and Facebook. And we'll see. So
Do they have a Canva thing or a flyer or something? Like, do they have
they don't. We're trying to
like
make
a
one.
poster? Oh, okay.
Me and my daughter are trying now. So
Until me.
The problem is, I can
No,
make
April
one pretty easy
27th.
on
It's
Canva,
April,
but you
April
have to have
27th.
like licensed and stuff.
yeah, that's what Juliet brought up.
It's
Canva.
yeah.
So we were messing around with the free version, but yeah, we might.
I mean, I have a bought version, but like to get like Shrek and stuff, you have to have like rights to it and all.
Yeah,
that.
and I
Like, they
don't-
won't let you do it.
It's possible that
But they should have like
we
a,
purchase rights, so it's
Yeah.
possible that Heather has a flyer.
I
yeah, there
asked
should
her,
Okay.
and she's looking, so
Okay.
I don't know.
I was
You
gonna
know,
say there
we're
should
gonna
be.
able to coordinate that, but
but yeah,
If not,
either
just
way.
make sure look a little different.
yeah.
Oh, we can always put the what is it, blue and green? We could always put it in Canva and make it.
Yeah, make it
You know, just write Shrek on it.
Yeah.
And put an accent and shit.
Shriek. So hopefully that goes well. And just as a side note, I've heard she's wonderful, Heather.
Yeah.
As you know, Juliet's in the play, and just really, they're really thrilled with the way she's running it. It seems like so.
The best thing to watch is when she has a baby in the carrier.
Yeah.
She's acting in the baby's sleep. So when we meet again in May, I will talk about Earth Week, and we will also be in the middle of our SBAC testing week. So state testing starts May 1st.
All right, thanks, Michelle. Anybody have any questions for Michelle? Okay, Lisa and Janine are not here. I just wanted to highlight two things from Lisa's report, that the school-based health centers that we were talking about and all that, it looks like we didn't make the cut, or Kent didn't. So I think it's Sharon, North Canaan, and the high school are going on, I don't know if it's like to the next level or what, but they've been the ones that, I don't know what goes into that decision, but even Sharon, North Canaan, and high school don't have the grant yet. They're, I guess, being invited to continue the application process. And to be honest, I'm not exactly sure, what goes into that decision. But the presentation that we got and the survey that we filled out
based on levels of need.
Yeah.
That's what I was
Survey
Probably.
information.
Yeah.
That's why not to ask that question.
So, I mean, it's good news for the region still.
Yeah.
But not for Kent this time, so. And then the other thing is, I just also wanted to highlight the middle school sports. They've added a science and technology center workshop. They're gonna add 2 this spring, one for 3D printing and one about groundwater. So, and I think it's Mrs. Deneen who's running that up there. So that, I thought that was awesome. And they're slowly expanding that program, so. That's cool. Yeah, it's pretty cool. And
I'm
they
excited
were
about
also
this.
talking
I'm
about
excited.
like making expanding the STC center within the middle school sports and activities program, and maybe even having like an open, like the art garage type style where kids can just come and explore, different things. So yeah, so I thought that was really cool and worth noting. Okay, so that brings us to our last public comment. No. Okay, and then we're gonna head into executive session with Kate. I think we'll say goodbye to Michelle and Megan. Thank you guys. And I'll accept the motion to move in, and then we'll stop the camera. So it's gonna be a motion to move into executive session at 6:22, inviting Kate Simmons. And the motion is made by John. Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor? Camera off.
So can you reach out to me?